So, how can the New York Jets completely F this thing up? That is the topic of this video. 5 big draft mistakes the New York Jets should avoid next month. Let's get it going. Mistake number 5 would be not drafting a running back. Running back isn't as much of a priority in the NFL anymore. We found a diamond in the rough last year. Michael Carter, he's our running back number 1. Tevin Coleman is fine as a running back number 3. I'd really like the Jets to add a running back number 2 in rounds 4 or 5, a bigger back, 215, 220 pounds, who can be used in short yardage and red zone and complement Michael Carter's scat back abilities. Mistake number 5 would be not drafting a running back. Mistake number 4 would be not making any trades. The Jets have the draft capital to move up and get another first round pick. That is really starting to grow on me. I mean, imagine coming away with one of the top edges, a Sauce Gardner at 10, and then coming up to 20 to nab one of the top 5 wide receivers. That would be an excellent draft class. We saw the playoffs. We all watched the playoffs, and we saw great players making big plays to win big games. And the Jets need some great players. Let's go ahead and make some moves and come away with 3 great players in the first round in this year's draft. Also, we have the 4th overall pick. If a team like Atlanta wants to come up from 8 to 4, and we still retain a top 10 pick, and then maybe add another first round pick in next year's draft, that could be an excellent move as well. And it's always just fun and exciting to have Joe Douglas wheeling and dealing and making trades. That would be mistake number 4, to not make any trades at all. Mistake number 3 would be not prioritizing the offensive line. Our starters, given Mekhi Becton's health, are going to be really, really good. I think this is a top 10 unit in the NFL with our starters if they're healthy, but that's a big if. Our starting offensive linemen last year missed a combined 25 games due to injury, obviously the bulk of them coming from Mekhi Becton missing almost the entire season. So I would like the Jets to spend their 3rd round pick on a swing tackle and draft a developmental interior offensive lineman in the 4th round. We want to upgrade our backups right now. Dan Feeney and Connor McDermott are our primary backups at interior offensive line and swing tackle respectively, and we have to do better than that. We also want to start grooming some young players to take over for pending free agents like George Fant and Connor McGovern. That way we don't have to rely on rookies starting on the offensive line. You want to have players who are developing in the pipeline to take over for veterans who leave. That would be mistake number 3, is not addressing the offensive line. Mistake number 2 would be if the Jets pass on an edge rusher with one of their top 10 picks. The Jets have been desperate for a pass rush for so long. We haven't had an edge rusher get us double-digit sacks since an older Calvin Pace in the later Rex Ryan years, and we haven't had an elite dynamic edge rusher since almost 20 years ago when John Abraham was doing his thing for the green and white. And if you watch the playoffs, it's great quarterbacks with dynamic skill position players, and the only way to slow those guys down is to hit them. We saw the LA Rams win a Super Bowl because in the second half, Joe Burrow couldn't get through his reads because Von Miller and Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald were in his grill. Before that, we saw the San Francisco 49ers go on the road and beat a team with a significantly better quarterback because they dominated the line of scrimmage. And we watched that Kansas City Chiefs-Bills shootout. The Bills have a good secondary. The Bills are incredibly well coached, but they couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes. And if you give these elite dynamic quarterbacks all day to throw, it doesn't matter how good your secondary is. Guys are going to get open. The only way to beat those elite quarterbacks is to hit them, get them uncomfortable, get them off their spot, disrupt their timing. You need to have a good pass rush in today's NFL. And I think it would be a big mistake for the Jets to wait till the 2nd round when there are plenty of edge rushing players who would be worth the number 4 or number 10 overall pick. Moving into the biggest mistake I'm hoping the New York Jets avoid in the 2022 NFL draft, and that would be passing on a wide receiver with one of their 4 top 40 picks. We have to fix the mistakes of Jets past. Our number 1 priority this year has to be putting enough around quarterback Zach Wilson in order to properly evaluate if he is our franchise guy moving forward. Corey Davis should have a bounce back year. I think Elijah Moore is a stud, but he's still a little unproven. Braxton Berrios is a good number 4, and Denzel Mims is a wild card. I'd like to go get a wide receiver number 1 at the 10th overall pick, but if they go ahead and get a Sky Moore, a Jahan Dotson, a Christian Watson, a Kenny Pickens in the second round, I can live with that. But if they wait till pick 69, all those guys are going to be gone, and that would just leave a sour taste in the mouths of Jets fans after what has otherwise been a really good offseason. Those are the top 5 mistakes I hope the New York Jets avoid in the 2022 NFL Draft. If you love what I'm doing, consider subscribing, and if you want to see my dream draft scenario, go ahead and watch it right below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, let's go Jets.